So you might have decluttered your space, and now you might be asking, now what? Welcome to GE Atelier, the podcast where intentional interior design meets mindful living. I'm your host, Jehan Askar, and I'm here with you on this journey to transform our living spaces into sanctuaries that reflect our unique story, personality, style, and lifestyle, while elevating our everyday life at home. So step inside my design workshop and let's design your home together. So last week I talked about decluttering and why I think it's an important step, a first step, before we start designing our spaces. We talked about letting go of the overwhelm of stuff, even letting go of trends and inspiration overload, just creating a clean slate to rediscover what really resonates with us and what is in our home that we like and we don't like and why we don't like it, and just think about how we have evolved and whether our home has evolved with us. And actually, if you're listening to this episode the day it comes out, I have a workshop today all about decluttering. So we really dive much deeper into decluttering and some steps and some concepts I want you to think about. So check the show notes if you're interested and sign up to join. Even if you missed the live workshop, you can still get the replay for a limited time. So it's in the show notes and check it out. So you might be wondering now that you've decluttered, what comes next? What happens after we declutter? And this is what I want to talk about more today. Setting the intention for your space and making sure it reflects not just how you want it to look and function, but also how you want to feel when you're in it. So we often think of our homes in terms of how they look and how they serve specific purposes, a specific function, but you've probably heard me mention that before in the podcast, that there's a crucial element that I think sometimes we overlook in design is how the space makes us feel. When we add feeling into the mix, it brings a new level of intention to the process of design. We're not just designing for that function, for the aesthetics, but also how we want to feel, especially in our homes. So before we jump into styling or adding new pieces after we've decluttered, we should just pause and ask ourselves, what do I want this space to feel like? How do I want to experience that space? And the answer could be one word or a combination of different ones, different feelings that you want to have in that space. But we're just setting an intention for it. This is just a moment also to reflect how your lifestyle and maybe personal style, design style have evolved, and to look at your home and see whether it has evolved with you or does it need to align a little bit more. Maybe you started appreciating more quality and craftsmanship, so you want to invest in timeless pieces, or maybe sustainability is really important for you now, so you want to consider eco-friendly material or even secondhand items. So just look around, take your time, there's no rush, and think about that. And after we've decluttered, this is where the fun begins, where the design, the new stuff comes in. Now we have a foundation of pieces that we kept that truly means something to us because we got rid of what doesn't align with us, what we don't like, what doesn't serve a purpose. So take a moment to see what you've kept. What is a common theme? Maybe a favorite color or a texture or a style era. Maybe something that has a specific feel again to it. So these clues are basically the essence of your personal design style. They're not, dictated by the trends or what's in right now, but they're uniquely yours. It could be even stuff that is very personal, or stuff that you got while traveling or from art galleries. It's just shaped by your experiences, your taste, and your lifestyle over time. So with a cleared space, now you have a fresh perspective. It's time to think about what else you need to bring in to complete that design, and to start designing with that intention that you set in mind. So we've been intentional about decluttering, so we want to be as intentional about designing and adding new elements, bringing in new elements. So when you reintroduce elements that you've rediscovered, and if you want a little bit more detail about that, go back to the previous episode. So when you reintroduce items or bring in new ones, keep in mind the feeling that you want to nurture in that space, that you want to evoke. Again, back to that intention. Again, ask yourself, does this object contribute to the mood I want to create, or the vibe that I want the space to feel like? The pieces you bring in should align with the energy you're trying to cultivate. Maybe it's tranquility, creativity, joy, relaxation, whatever it is for you. So decluttering is really not an easy task, because you have to go through a lot of items, a lot of things, maybe even a lot of emotions of letting go and taking some time to think about what you like now and what you want. So pause, maybe even celebrate now that you have done a difficult task, and think about your design intention. You are curating your life and your space, so design it with that intention in mind. It's a fresh start. I hope today's episode has inspired you to feel excited to take the next step after decluttering. You're setting a clear intention for your space and curating around what truly speaks to you now, today. So don't forget to sign up for the workshop if you still have time, and we will dive deeper into that, and we will go from decluttering to design together. Thank you for joining my atelier, and if you've enjoyed this episode, maybe share it with a friend. They can also join the workshop. You can share the link for the workshop with them. I'll see you in the next episode.